Mhm. Okay, let's talk about butterflies. Okay, fascinating. So butterflies. First of all, this is beautiful air energy, as is the dragonfly. Butterflies are very much about transformation, about metamorphosis. They're about all of the stages and phases that it takes to get to this fully formed butterfly situation. So we have the egg, right, which goes into the caterpillar, which goes into the chrysalis, which then turns to goo, transforms, undergoes metamorphosis, and then emerges as the beautiful butterfly, right? The thing about this energy, though, about the butterfly energy, is that this is not an emphasis, as it is here, on how beautiful you look fully formed. But I do feel like it's commenting on the fact that there is a lot going well for you and a lot going, right? It's flight. You're in flight, and I can feel it. But I feel like the emphasis here with this butterfly is really about allowing yourself, if you need to go back to the caterpillar stage, move a bit slowly. If you need to go back to the chrysalis and go inside and be goo, then please do. It feels important. Also, keeping in mind that we have Mercury in retrograde, we have Venus in retrograde, which is directly tied to how we communicate, the timing around things, and also how we view things, our perspective, right? The butterfly also equates to a Three of Swords energy in the tarot, which speaks of heartache, heart pain, that usually stems from the past, but we usually come up against that pain when we are resisting change of some sort. I feel like for some of you guys, this change is happening around you and there's a natural resistance to it. And it just feels a bit like this is a lot all at once, or this is just a lot right now. I keep hearing that. I feel like there's another group of you guys that are getting what you wished for. But the thing about wishes is, they say, like, be careful what you wish for and that people moan the loudest when they get what they want. The other aspect of wish fulfillment is that it does require change of you. You don't get to stay the same and get what you want. That ain't it, right? You're wishing for something that is not yet manifested. And so, yes, when it comes, it's going to require more of this, less of this, right? Suddenly you have less time for that. And it's going to require more of you over here. And it's all this balance game, right? But I'm really hearing that it's this, I said at the very beginning that I wanted to reverse that dragonfly energy for you, yeah? And it's interesting that we have this butterfly here, which talks about stages and phases of being. And I want to kind of go, again, if you need to be the caterpillar, if you need to be in a different place than this fully formed butterfly at any given time during this month, then do it. You've earned it. If you need it, feel that out and do it, right? I do feel like part of this energy for you guys for this month is needing some time to collect yourself, on your own to collect yourself. Fae energy is very much about connecting with nature as well. And so I would definitely recommend you do that. Now, we got the Hangman here, okay? Major Arcana coming in here. So the Hanged Man is about taking time out, taking a pause in order to flip your perspective. So we were talking about doing things in the reverse, about going in reverse, backing up to the caterpillar or the chrysalis. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is literally in the reverse. The key isn't in reverse, but the Hanged Man is upside down. Enlightenment, knowledge. We assume the hangman position in order to see ourselves or our situation more clearly. But also, when you think about it, if you were to do a handstand, your heart goes above your head, right? So it's a certain enlightenment that happens from that, and a certain medicinal benefit that comes from that, right? So heart overhead, and then we have the Three of Swords here. We're talking about the reverse. We want to back it up. So I'm hearing heart overhead. Listen to your heart, listen to your feelings more than your head this month, and ask it what it is asked. Well, pay attention to what it's asking of you, right? Do you need to just be a kid again for just a bit and let go of some of these responsibilities or more mundane aspects? I feel like your health, I want to talk about, your health in terms of how your emotional experience does affect your physical body. We would just want to look at tapping into energy and doing things that honor our needs at any given point. Okay? You can slow down. You can back it up. Then you can go forward again. You can speed up again, right? Eight of Cups. Interesting. Salmon energy. It was salmon here. Salmon energy is very much about allowing yourself to go with the flow, right? And knowing that in doing so, that is the path of least resistance. Fish are all about flow and fertility and abundance that exists of surrendering to the will of spirit or the universe, right? What's interesting here as well, traditionally with the Eight of Cups, is this is moving into, I want to speak about the Seven of Cups, which precedes it. So the Seven of Cups is about, it's analysis paralysis in a way that affects your, decision-making abilities. It's feeling overwhelmed. It's having a lot of options, less choices. And it's just like, whoa, there's a lot going on. It's kind of like a virtual reality game where you're like, whoa, which way do I go? Which door is mine? Which way is in? What's the code? What's the key? What do I press here? When do I move? Right? And I feel like this with the Eight of Cups is directly commenting on you allowing yourself to move into waters that are emotionally fulfilling for you, but also not partaking in emotional relationships or behavior that does not give as much as it gets. So those relationships in your life that don't give you as much as you give them, pulling back the reins on that, maybe spending less time in those relationships or less time in those activities, right? I'm hearing like it's a balancing act for your emotional well-being that will also affect your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being as well. But I feel like that's the name of the game here is your well-being, and really bringing that to the forefront of your focus. Back to the phases, and we're talking about butterflies and the hangman, and we have the full moon there as well. What else? Justice. Let's talk. Justice is very much about things being balanced and equal and fair, right? But there's also an aspect to justice where in the traditional tarot, Lady Justice is holding up that sword and says, in order for these scales to be balanced, she's holding the scales in her hand. In order for these scales to be balanced, we must first pass through the sword of truth, clarity, honesty, vision, right? So it's interesting here with this red crowned crane, right? Because there's an aspect to crane medicine that's very much about good luck, right? Balance, timing. It also equates a bit to temperance in a way. I feel like for you guys, the message with this is do what's right for you. Do what is right for you. It's so interesting because I kept getting in your meditation like, that the Ace of Swords, remember I saw that with the dragonfly, and normally I would say like get outside of the illusion, embrace the clarity and the truth, and really sit with that in stillness, allow for the answers to come. But I want to do the reverse. For you guys, I want to say like, put the sword down, live in the ethereal, live in the play, live in the fun, live in the unknown, live in the questions, live in that place that requires less of your effort in a way that doesn't serve you and only requires that of you which you are able and happy and willing to give. I'm hearing, do not push yourself at this time. It doesn't feel healthy, right, or happy. Okay? Yes. Let's get a clarifier for the hangman here. Page of Swords, but of course. So remember we were talking about assuming the hangman position to flip your perspective and see something differently and get new truths and insights. And then we have the Page of Swords, which is information. But I'm hearing with this, ask the questions. Ask the questions. So with that, what I mean is, let's say that I'm feeling overwhelmed and really tired, but I have a lot of work to do and I have people depending on me and all this stuff. At any given point, I can either choose to just keep being the hamster on the wheel and just going with what's expected of me, all the while not feeling emotionally great. Or I can sit in with the emotions as they arise, use them as my personal compass, right? Which they are meant to be. And I can go, okay, I have all this to do, but I'm feeling real crap right now. Like, what is that about? And what is it? What are my feelings trying to tell me? And then I can go, oh, I've been overdoing it. I've been overworking. This is my emotions. That's why I'm not feeling so great. I'm feeling like I just need to play or rest. But the taskmaster, the ego is going, no, you can't. Bad things will happen if you do that. You wanted this. Keep going for it or just keep pushing. No. So I'm going to sit down, ask the questions, and then accept the answers that arise. But in order to ask the questions, we have to be still long enough in order to both ask them well, and then be receptive and available to the answers that arise around them. Now, you can do this in a lot of different ways. You can automatic write, you can journal, you can meditate, you can do a guided meditation. You can even talk to a loved one about this and just say, hey, have you noticed that I've been feeling really irritable lately? Have you noticed? Yeah, so I'd like to get to the bottom of what that's about. Can we talk about that? And then just talk it through, right? But there is information that's available to you that requires you to pause long enough in order to access it. Be aware of it, access it, and then receive the answers, okay? You know, I'm hearing dream time as well. You can also set the intention before you go to sleep. Back to that Fae energy, because they're directly associated with nighttime as well. You can set that intention to, before you go to sleep, to ask for clarity around what can I do to manifest, you know, happiness or emotional balance, or what changes or adjustments could I make so that I feel ABC or whatever have you, that I can be productive and joyous at the same time, or whatever that is for you. Okay. Clarifier for 8 of Cups. There's a lot going on though. Definitely. Knight of Cups to clarify the 8 of Cups. So fascinating. So, you know, the Knight of Cups is allowing yourself to be moved and informed by your emotions. You know, it's also about doing work that you love to do as well, and really partaking in those relationships that serve you and make you happy and feel joy and allow you to click into the present moment. This is exactly what we were saying with the 8 of Cups. Really connecting in with the activities, people, places, things that serve you emotionally and are reciprocal in nature. More time with the activities and people that allow you to click into that present moment and feel happiness, feel emotional freedom. Anything that restricts your emotional freedom or feels restrictive at all, just take some time out outside of that to access the truth around what changes could be made, so that you're living a more balanced existence, okay? That's what I'm feeling with this. Your key, your way in is your emotions. They are there to inform you. They're there to inform you. You ever heard someone say, like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Everything's going so well, but I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Why am I feeling like this? And there's this energy like, why am I feeling like this? I should be feeling like this. Well, what if we and that's very human, right? But what if we changed it to go, let me be curious and not judgmental around how I'm feeling, and see what comes out. I'm feeling this. Why could that be? Let's investigate from a place of curiosity, not get it together and feel better. Like, that's not gonna, that helped like nobody ever, right? So something to consider as well. Like a child might, curious as opposed to judgmental. All right, Justice. Oh, Lord. 9 of Swords, sleeplessness, nightmares, dream time. Right, with the Justice. Remember how we talked about, she looks like she's really having an interesting time, right? We talked about everything being fair and equal as it should be, but we also talked about doing what works for you and setting an intention before you go to sleep to, have some clarity around something that eludes you, or for more information. I feel like that's coming up here with the 9 of Swords, but I feel like your dreams as well, as we were talking about at the beginning with the dragonfly, are there to inform you as well. And if you can remember the details of your dream, brilliant. But if you can't, dream work says that you can remember how you were feeling when you first woke up, and then allow that to sit with those feelings before you go on about your day and say, man, I'm feeling this, and then see what arises from that moment. Because your dreams, absolutely, when 9 of Swords comes up, are there to inform you during this time. And I feel like they're going to have some helpful notes on what changes or additions could be made in order to achieve balance, but also about how to do what works for you in a way that is non-judgmental and through the lens of self-love and acceptance. Okay? Let's do an oracle. Let's do an oracle from a Leo's. Let's see. What's going on for Leos? Give me an oracle. Oh! She's one of my favorites. The Lady of the Gift. So this says generosity, receiving, withholding. Generosity, receiving, withholding. This is about our relationship to giving. And I feel like this has to, remember we were saying anything that's not reciprocal, less time on those things? more time on the emotional relationships and the pastimes and the work that actually gives back what you put into it, emotionally speaking or otherwise, is exactly commenting on this. But I feel like, this is also a message for those of you who have well, we all have gifts, but those of you who work with your gifts or have work that involves your gifts, right? I feel like there's a good group of you guys that are here to serve others or make others smile or make someone else's piece of the world a little bit sunnier that day, or you're here to make your little piece of the world better than how you found it. And I feel like in these times of confusion or during this month of miscommunication or, whatever may or may not be going on, I feel like it can help serve as a reminder to click into, why am I doing what I do? To help others, to make the world better, to ABC, XYZ. And if you can click in with the reason that you do what you do, I feel like that is going to be so incredibly helpful. Remind yourself of the gift inherent in you doing what you do. And I feel like that is going to be enormously helpful. It's also going to allow you to embrace the relationships and pastimes that are more reciprocal in nature from a place of self-love and clarity. Okay?